gentlemen, welcome to the Morning Sprint, and thanks for waking up with me on this Friday. We're at the end of the week, and it's time to celebrate, guys. It's always a good day when we make it to our weekend, especially when we can bring the stories that you guys are talking about, you guys want to know more information about, and sometimes you want to smile about, and sometimes scratch your head at. Well, today's show is going to be a combination of some very weird and awful stuff that have happened in the news, but kind of the positive that have come out of those particular stories. But this particular story that we're going to talk about is a bit disturbing. And I will go ahead and tell you guys right now, this was one of those videos that was going around online that shocked me. I know it shocked a lot of people, and it was just like, how in the world could that have possibly happened? Just to give you guys a little taste of it, it all was caught on body cam footage. As soon as I can get the computer catch up with me. Hold on just a second.
Shots fired! Shots fired! You know.
So yes, apologize about that delay. I don't know what's going on with the technology over there for a second. But yeah, no, this is one of those videos that I'm pretty sure you've seen it. This guy apparently is a deputy over in Florida. He mistaken an acorn falling on the hood of his car for a shots fired call, and then started literally lighting up his patrol unit with a suspect inside. Now, fortunately, nobody was injured. So, yeah, of course, we're not going to show you something if somebody was injured or hurt in the process or killed in the process. That was not the result of this deputy's poor judgment. But we're going to break down kind of the details in this case to kind of let you know the inside scope of how did this all come about, period. And I also want to say, those of you who are watching, I want to be very, very clear. This is not an anti-police story. We're not going to have an anti-police discussion because, again, we love our law enforcement in our communities. This is an this deputy's actions kind of story. So we're going to break that down and, again, talk about, obviously the blessing out of it is that nobody was hurt or injured, but that deputy is definitely off the force right now because of his poor judgment. Moving on, we got to get into this story. This is one of those stories that really rocked the nation. Super Bowl celebration is all about, basically bringing home that team and just celebrating what they have just accomplished. And that's what happened over in Kansas City when some people decided to do and make very, very bad decisions. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard all about it with the situation. I think 22 people were shot. One person died. Several people with life-threatening injuries. It was just an all-around awful, awful end to that celebration. But what you probably haven't heard, if you have, I'm happy that you have, but there were some heroes in the mix of the crowd. It was a big chaotic scene, but a man who helped tackle a possible suspect in the Kansas City Chiefs parade shooting says that he was just reacting to what all he saw. Now, he says, hold on just a second, there he goes. This is the video of that scene. You can see two people tackling an individual to the ground, pinning them down and repeatedly punching. Police have not confirmed whether the person being tackled in this video was involved in the shooting.
When we tackled him, the gun came out. We're good. Who's the other guy? Back up. Hey, I got the gun. I got the gun.
Now, this is different video taken by Paul Contreras' daughter, who shared what happened in the moments immediately after. You can hear police asking him if he knew the man that he tackled, and then someone repeatedly said that, hey, they found a gun. So it was obviously a very chaotic situation. At least 23 people were shot as the Super Bowl victory celebration was wrapping up, and half of those victims were under the age of 16. One person was killed, and 8 others are facing life-threatening injuries. Contreras says that he was just trying to keep his family and others safe.
When I was taking him down, I seen the weapon fall to the ground. So I knew right then and there, I'm like, okay, he's got one weapon, but this one's on the ground. He may have another one. I need to take him to the ground, and I need to keep him on the ground, is what I did.
Talk about some bravery, man. 3 people, 2 of them juveniles, have been detained by police, but they have not been identified. They say that an argument appears to have sparked the shooting. This is one of those things that terrifies me because, again, can we just go back to just having celebrations without some people acting stupid? I'm sorry, this is exactly what it is. Stupidity leads to death. Stupidity leads to injuries, and stupidity leads to a traumatic situation. This could have been avoided. People could have just gone to Super Bowl celebration. I don't care what team you were on. The whole purpose of football and the whole purpose of Super Bowl and all type of that fun stuff, the point behind it is to be with friends and families and to show them that, hey, we can celebrate. This is a peaceful situation. Despite our differences, we're going to come together and have a good time. And all of a sudden, it took one person making an awful judgment call. Matter of fact, probably multiple people at this point. I know they got 3 people detained. We're still trying to wait on the details behind it. Thank God it wasn't a terroristic act. And that's, again, one of my biggest fears is something awful is going to happen like that at one of these big events. But regardless of the matter, all it takes is one bad decision, and that bad decision is going to impact not only your life, but the lives around you. And again, it's just kind of sad and ridiculous that we can't simply go to these different events without being paranoid nowadays. And again, this isn't a clap back on people who are responsible gun owners whatsoever. It's the fact of the matter is that you got people who are not ready to hold that kind of power in their pocket. Or what were you doing bringing that there to begin with? I don't know. There's just so many different questions. And again, we're going to wait for the investigation to play out, obviously. But, excuse me, it's one of those things where, thank God we have heroes in the audience like that that can show you that there is good in this world. There are people who will sit there and put their life on the line to protect others. And I think that that's always something that we can look forward to as far as having those good Samaritans sprinkled in the crowds with us. All right. Sorry, I'm getting choked up about something is happening over here. So in your sports news, we're going to switch gears real quick, get right into this video.
Recovered by Gabby Marshall. Here comes Clark. How will she go for history? In women's college basketball.
All right, guys. Sorry about that. I'm getting choked. I don't know what is happening over here. I'm having a choking situation. But this whole situation right here is a good deal. This is good news on the court, man. A record has been broken. Iowa Hawkeye superstar Caitlin Clark, now the all-time leading scorer in women's college basketball with 3,528 career points. It was less than 3 minutes into the first quarter when Clark made her signature shot, which was a 35-foot three-pointer that hit nothing but the bottom of the net. Some Iowa fans spoke on their inspiration, saying that Clark has had a major impact on them. It is always cool to see that take place and to see people just celebrate this girl for what she has gone through. Clark broke previous all-time records scored set by Kelsey Plum in 2017. But again, it's always cool to see this type of accomplishment. Over 3,000 points. Let's get right to it. I'm going to show you guys this one more time.
Marshall. Here comes Clark. How will she go for history? There it is! The all-time leading scorer in women's college basketball.
Whoop, there it is, man. I tell you, always cool to just celebrate our locals and see her do her thing, man. I bet she just was super stoked in that moment. So we got to get to this, guys. Obviously, when you woke up today, the weather wasn't nearly as cold as it has been, but it's going to apparently get chilly, which is not good news for me because tomorrow is the Polar Plunge, and tomorrow is supposedly going to be the coldest day out of the next 7 days, which I'm not looking forward to, but hey, it's going to be polar plunging for a good cause. Either way, let's get to meteorologist Chris Michaels right now. Come again with our forecast.
Happy Friday, guys. Much of today is dry as we head into tonight. Very early tomorrow morning, we'll see rain to the east, snow to the north and west. If you're looking for an inch plus, you got to go north of I-64. Otherwise, for most of us, it's not a big deal. We'll be windy and colder tomorrow, gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. And again, that Polar Plunge is taking place tomorrow. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be at Bishop Park in Bradford, and literally plunging for a great cause. Myself, Jeff Hanowich, and our very own Duke Carter, who you all voted for, will be plunging, be taking the dip in the cold water. And again, I'm still trying to figure out, how am I supposed to execute this? Am I like, I'm the type of person that like to jump all the way in to get it over with. But the fact you got to walk in, do I run? And if I run, I don't like it when it splash up on me. I don't like it, I'm just trying to figure it out, guys. So please help me out and try to give me the proper guidance on how to properly execute a polar plunge without it being terribly unbearable. But yeah, no, it should be a lot of fun. I can't wait to go out and see all of you guys out there, all of us plunging for a great cause. And again, raising money for Special Olympics Virginia. That's always a good deal because there are some very talented athletes out there doing their thing on that note. All right, guys, we got to get into this real cool story right here. It's a very sweet story. It's about a cancer patient who grew up in Michigan, says that she got a huge surprise by recently attending a concert with rapper and performer Drake. Now, she held up a sign, and that sign says, "No more chemo." Drake noticed it and pledged to give her $100,000, telling the audience that she was a super soldier. She was very pumped up about this whole interaction, and I can only imagine, because can just think, how would it be to have someone, that you look for it as far as entertainment, and for them to notice you out of the audience. That is just always, I bet, a special moment for anybody to have. But for someone who's been through literally hell and back, as far as, trying to get this treatment and trying to get, this awful chemo, like everything is just pretty sure a huge obstacle in her life. She's probably been dealing with a lot of stuff, but the fact of the matter is that she goes to a concert, Drake notices her, and he notices in that moment the fight that she's been putting up, and then he gives her $100,000. That's something that I think is a blessing. I'm pretty sure she's going to have something to smile about for a long time. All right, guys, switching gears now, we're getting into the story that we were first telling you guys about, that was just kind of like super duper unnecessary, super duper like what in the world is going on. Let me make sure my video is set up. And guys, as you know, again, this is live. We have this situation where this is a very individually run kind of newscast in a way. It's a very non-traditional newscast, but all of my computers are over there. That's why I keep on looking over in that corner. And me being over here in the set, operating it by myself. Sometimes we deal with a lot of technical difficulties, but either way, we're figuring it out. And I appreciate you guys' patience with me as we go throughout our show today. Okay, so again, we got some body cam footage that shows two Okaloosa County deputies firing into a patrol unit with a suspect in it, okay? They got this new release internal investigation report, says that it all happened because one of the deputies mistook an acorn hitting the top of his hood of his vehicle as someone shooting at him from the vehicle. So again, we want to clarify that everybody was okay. Nobody was physically hurt. The suspect that was inside of the unit, he ended up surviving, shockingly, and by the grace of God. But knowing someone is in the car can make this video very difficult to see. So I'll give you guys another shot of it right here. This is going to be from two angles. You're going to see the angle of the deputy walking along. He's getting on his knees, and he's going to be communicating with his partner, who is also going to return fire and shoot at the vehicle. So check this out.
Just here!
Where, right there?
So yeah, as you can see, it was a very uncomfortable situation. It's a very crazy setup right there. Something that nobody ever wants to be a part of. And again, this what we're talking about is not an anti-police thing. This is an anti-poor judgment thing. And sometimes officers make mistakes and deputies make mistakes. This one right here is beyond a mistake. So let me go through the details of this case, okay? So says a Florida sheriff's deputy is seen on video opening fire on a man who was searched, handcuffed, and placed in a patrol vehicle after the deputy mistook the sound of a falling acorn for a gunshot. The body cam footage released Monday by the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office shows the deputy Jesse Hernandez yelling shots fired multiple times as he falls to the ground and repeatedly fires into the patrol unit. This happened last November, I believe. But Marquise Jackson, who was the suspect of this case, he was suspected of stealing his girlfriend's car earlier that morning, was restrained in the back of the seat, in the back of the unit. He was luckily unharmed by the gunshots, but he said that this incident left him traumatized nonetheless. Hernandez, who has resigned from the sheriff's office, has not been charged. Now, here's some background details on the reason why they were there to begin with. Okaloosa County deputies responded to a call morning on November 12th in Fort Walton Beach, about 65 miles west of Panama City, saying that in a news release, says that a woman called to report her boyfriend, Jackson, was refusing to return her car, had been calling and texting her threats, the release said. Then it says the deputy Javier Reyna and Deja Riley and Jesse Hernandez, Sergeant Beth Roberts responded. Jackson walked up to the scene around 10 minutes after the officers arrived, and he was detained, searched, handcuffed, and placed in the back of Hernandez's patrol car. The key point about this is that the dude was literally searched and handcuffed, unarmed, placed in the back of the car. Well, Riley and Rena left for the search of to search for the missing vehicle. They found it about 3 miles away. As Roberts continued to work with the woman, Hernandez approached his patrol car to conduct a secondary search of Jackson, and that's when he heard the pop sound. He said, shots fired, and when Hernandez was approaching the passenger side rear door, acorn could be seen striking the top of the patrol car. According to the internal investigation report in January, Hernandez perceived the sound to be a gunshot that he believed he had been hit, which is, again, one of those bizarre situations. Granted, I have never been in those. I don't know how tense that kind of scenario is. I am not in uniform. I'm not claiming to be in uniform. But again, I think this was a big misstep. Anyways, so Roberts asked where the shots are coming from. And as you can see, the partner runs up and is just like, what's going on? She's like, where are the shots coming from? He points from the car saying it's in the car. He's also being heard in the video saying he's hit. You know, it was just an all-around crazy situation. But what was even crazier about it that I think is not a lot of attention is going through, being shown on it. The suspect inside the vehicle, definitely traumatized. He says that all I could do was depend on God. Jackson recounted the incident on his Facebook, writing about the experience of being shot at while handcuffed and strapped down in the back seat in a seatbelt. So he says that all I could do was lean over and play dead to prevent getting shot in the head. Jackson wrote, I was scared to death and I knew all I could do was depend on God. I ignored everything and just prayed. The windows shattered as bullets flew around the patrol car. He said Jackson was unharmed, but the incident left him super traumatized. He says, I was blessed not to get hit by any of the bullets or get hurt physically, but mentally, I'm not okay. I haven't been the same since, and I don't think this feeling I have will ever change. I truly believe that I'm damaged for life, which is understandable, okay? So he says the ambulance took him to the hospital to get him evaluated and all that good stuff. Either way, this was just an awful setup. Then Hernandez actually came and talked during his investigation. He was like, the original reason why I was firing was because I was sitting in the open there. Hernandez told investigators, I had only moved a couple feet from where I felt I had been shot from the back of the patrol car, and I didn't know how I was going to get up and move to that covered area. So he just immediately started firing. He was shown in still photos taken from his body camera footage. Again, the acorn bouncing off the roof of his patrol car. Internal investigation report says I'm not going to say no because I mean that's what I heard. Hernandez said what I heard sounded what I think I would be louder than an acorn hitting the roof of the car. But there's obviously an acorn hitting the roof of that car. So again, he messed up big time. And again, I think this is one of those situations where some trauma. I would be surprised if Jackson wasn't traumatized by this whole situation. Being unarmed, being handcuffed. Granted, he was doing something he got no business doing to begin with. You know, I'm not even taking anything away from him because, again, point blank period, don't break the law. But I don't care what you did to break the law. That does not warrant somebody's mistake such as this. So, with that being said, again, I'm very happy that he made it out alive. I'm happy that everybody made it out alive, and I'm so happy that the officer is being dealt with the way he's being dealt with, as far as having to resign. I hope some more investigations take place. We're gonna keep on following this story because I'm pretty sure there probably is going to be some type of what you call it, an investigation happening in reference to what went wrong and why it went wrong. So yeah, either way, this shocked a lot of people. A lot of people did not expect that to turn out to be that way. But again, if you saw it on social media, you know that that was one of the reasons why it went viral. So let's bring in Jazzy Jazz on this real quick. Jazz, are you with me? Hey, how you doing?
I'm happy it's Friday. This week was really long.
Yes, no, very, very long, girl. So we're talking about this Florida deputy situation. You know, I know you probably have saw it online from your web perspective. How crazy is this kind of video to see a person made an awful mistake? I don't care whether you're in uniform or not.
Yeah, like you said, it's an incredible, it's a significant mistake. The fact that he mistake the fallen acorn for gunshots and ended up firing his own weapon towards an unarmed man. So yeah, it's just really a very unfortunate situation. Like you said, I'm really glad no one hurt, because someone could have seriously been hurt in this incident. And I'm glad that they're handling the officer appropriately, and I'm glad that he is resigning as well and that he's owning up to his mistake. Because like you said, mistakes do happen, but consequences follow. So I'm glad that everything is being handled in an appropriate manner. And again, I'm so glad that no one was hurt over such a disastrous mistake.
Definitely. And then the whole situation with the Kansas City Super Bowl shooting, where you had people who were just normal individuals seeing something wrong and knowing that they had to act. That is also a blessing right there.
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely incredible, because you never know how you're going to react when you're in the moment and in that situation. You can always say, or I would have done this, or I would have done that, but when you're right before something like that, you don't know how you're going to respond. So the fact that he was able to step in and act on his toes is incredible, because he potentially saved a lot of lives. So go him for acting with courage instead of with fear.
Definitely, Jazz. Tell me, do we have any viewers or comments today?
Yeah, of course, we have a lot of viewers. We don't have any comments today, but if you decide to catch one of the morning sprint later in the day, feel free to leave a comment on WSLS.com, on Facebook, or on YouTube. We'd love to hear from you guys. And also, one more thing. So I know we mentioned the Polar Plunge that's coming up tomorrow. If you can't make it, still can watch it. You just head to WSLS.com, and we have a Choose Your View article on our website where you can watch the event from all angles, right from the comfort of your home.
Definitely. And Jess, so before I let you go, everybody, if you've gone on our website, you know, we're trying to kind of bring Tasty Tuesday back to life, of having it in a different light on its own, and it's Jazz's project. So Jazz, I'm gonna let you talk about the first person that was featured this month that you was working on.
So this week, if you didn't know, February 13th was the Texas Tavern's 94th anniversary. So we just really wanted to highlight such a cultural icon in the Star City. And so we went to Texas Tavern, we headed downtown, and we spoke with Matt Bullinson, the fourth generation owner. And he was really, really cool and really humble and nice. So it was awesome getting to speak with him. And we ordered a bowl, and then we ordered a hot dog as well, and a cheesy Western. It was delicious. It was just a really great experience. And it was just nice getting to see the customers just interact with one another like as if they were family. You know, it was a nice feel. It was almost like stepping back in time. So it was really fun.
Yes.
And of course, you know, working with Jaffia is always fun. So it was a really good time.
Yeah, no, guys, when I tell you, we had so much fun. It was like one of those impromptu, like the whole purpose of this kind of program that Jazz is working on and that I'm helping her with is to show you guys that, yeah, we love the community. Food and community together brings people together, and I feel like having that experience and being able to show you guys firsthand how fun of a time it was, we want you guys out there to experience it as well. So Jazz, what can we be expecting with this particular franchise that you're starting?
Yeah, so like Jackie said, it's about the community. You know, like we're highlighting restaurants, but it's not about the food. It's about the people behind it and their stories. So that's what we're trying to do. And because we know we have a lot of locally owned restaurants in our area, and everyone deserves to be highlighted and deserves their own recognition. So if you want to nominate your own favorite restaurant, head to wslist.com, and you can actually submit someone and nominate a restaurant, and we'll look into it and go into your neighborhood. Perhaps we'll even cover it. So in the future, we'll be having it once a month, and we'll head to the restaurant ourselves and speak with the customers and try the food, and we'll be out there, and you might even see it yourself. So we would love to hear from you guys. We would love to hear about some of your favorite restaurants. Head to wslist.com and let us know, because we definitely want to highlight all of these different restaurants that have had a significant impact on the community, just like the Texas Tavern has had on the Roanoke Valley and beyond.
Perfecto, Jazz. All right, Jazzy. Well, thank you, girl. Take care.
All right, bye.
All right, guys. Well, before I let you guys go again, we're going to end the show on that piece that we put together so you guys can see just how much fun we had and how important it is for you guys to get out and show some love to our awesome, local communities, especially all the communities and the restaurants and the establishments that are doing their things to kind of give you guys that sense of home. Again, today's show was pretty heavy. I know we talked about a lot of situations involving gun violence and involving overstepping your, whatever paranoia. I don't even know what that was with the Florida deputy situation. I don't know if it was some PTSD that kicked in. I have no idea. Either way, these are definitely stories that are heavy. We'll continue to be investigated. But again, just reminders to everybody out there, just to be very nice to each other, be very respectful of one another. Again, and just more than anything, think before you act. I think that's the biggest takeaway from today's show, is to think before you act, because you never know what your actions can do that could change somebody else's life forever. With that being said, you guys have a wonderful weekend. I will leave you in the hands of the Texas Tavern. And again, if you need a place to eat, check them out. I'm going to take it away with this franchise and neighborhood fixings right now. You guys have a blessed weekend, and we'll see you guys back here again on Monday. Hey, what's up, guys? It is Jeff and Jazz, and guess what? We're going on another food adventure, and today
we're going to Texas Tavern.
Okay.
Roanoke's icon has been around for almost 100 years. 94 years exact on February 13th. So
got some history in this thing. So what is one of the specialty things we should look forward to?
Oh, definitely the chili.
Okay.
The world famous chili is what it's known for.
Ooh, it smells great. Is this it? No?
Hello. Hi, Jasmine. Matt Bullington. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
People have been coming in here for generations, and you're kind of like a bartender without the alcohol. You make them feel at home, have a conversation with them.
Stepping inside Texas Tavern is exactly like stepping back in time.
Yeah, look at this look right here. It has stayed the same since the early 1900s. And get this, the community is all about it.
And this whole assembly back behind here actually came from the first Texas Tavern, which was not in Roanoke. My great-grandfather opened it up in 1926 in Indiana, outside of Indianapolis.
Now let's meet Matt Bullington. He's the proud fourth-generation owner, and he says his great-grandfather ultimately brought the Texas Tavern to 114 Church Avenue in Roanoke on February 13th, 1930.
Instead of burgers and fries, he thought burgers and chili would work. It's worked for almost 100 years.
You know, we had to try it out, and we learned firsthand that the chili...
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
A million bowls of that.
Yeah, that's good.
And the burger.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Definitely live up to this hole-in-the-wall's legacy. But then they brought out the dogs.
Yeah, the chili dogs, they were just as legendary. All right, let's do it.
Cheers on the hot dogs.
Oh no, that's a good hot dog.
What the customers see and what they eat, I don't change that. A place that has stood the test of time, like Texas Tavern, kind of holds a special place in the heart of Roanokers and non-Roanokers alike. Anyone who's kind of come through those doors over the past 94 years.
Though not only was the food delicious, but it's just walking in and feeling just the welcoming atmosphere and seeing how customers interacted with one another and treated people like family.
Yeah.
It felt like a big family. So it kind of it felt like even at the dinner table with mom and dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Send us some more recommendations so that we can go and visit your neck of the woods
because I absolutely love this experience. Again, we're learning a lot about, well, I'm learning a lot about this place.
I mean, it's nice. It's just nice being able to go out into the community and interact with people and just see what they're passionate about. Because I mean, you can't get this kind of connection from a chain.
Definitely. Well, until next time, have a good one.